What is it, guys? We're back with another video, and today I am going to be giving you my interpretation and takeaways from First Samuel chapter 1. Let's jump into it. Okay, so the names, they are a bit tough, so stick with me a little bit in the beginning. Okay, so I'll take my glasses. Okay, the family of Elkanah. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zophiim on the mountains of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. And he had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. This man went up from his city yearly to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. Also, the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And whenever the time came for Elkanah to make an offering, he would give portions to Peninnah his wife, to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he would give a double portion, for he loved Hannah, although the Lord had closed her womb. And her rival also provoked her severely, to make her miserable, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it was, year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, that she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Hannah's vow. Now, then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? So Hannah arose after they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli the priest was sitting on the seat by the doorpost of the tabernacle of the Lord, and she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed to the Lord, and wept in anguish. Then she made a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the afflictions of your maidservant, and remember me, and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. And it happened, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli watched her mouth. Now Hannah spoke in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she was drunk. So Eli said to her, How long will you be drunk? Put your wine away from you. But Hannah answered and said, No, my lord, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor intoxicating drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Do not consider your maidservant a wicked woman, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief I have spoken until now. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition which you have asked of him. And she said, Let your maidservant find favor in your sight. So the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. Samuel was born and dedicated. Then they rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and returned and came to their house at Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. So it came to pass in the process of time that Hannah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Samuel, saying, Because I have asked for him from the Lord. Now the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer to the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, Not until the child is weaned, then I will take him, that he may appear before the Lord and remain there forever. So Elkanah her husband said to her, Do what seems best to you. Wait until you have weaned him. Only let the Lord establish his word. Then the woman stayed and nursed her son until she had weaned him. Now, when she had weaned him, she took him up with her, with 3 bulls, 1 ephah of flour, and a skin of wine, and brought him to the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. Then they slaughtered a bull, and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my Lord, as your soul lives, my Lord, I am the woman who stood by you here, praying to the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore I also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he shall be lent to the Lord. So they worshiped the Lord there. So that's the story. Now I'm going to give you my takeaways, right? So first point I want to address is that the Lord specifically, it states the Lord shut her womb, okay? And the Lord also remembered her while she was with her husband, and then they conceived a child, right? So therefore, we also must follow Hannah and seek the Lord to open doors in our life that He has closed. Because the Lord, because the Lord was the one who shut her womb, the Lord is the only one who can open it. And we might not be looking for wombs, but we might think, why do you shut the door on that? Why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? And we need to realize we have to look to the person who closed the door to also open that same door if it is in His will. Okay? Right? Number 2, Hannah was not afraid to pour her heart out fully unto the Lord, right? Even when she looked like she was intoxicated or she was crazy to other people, right? She wasn't afraid of saying, oh, I don't want to do it here because people might see me. People might think I'm crazy. She was not concerned about that. She's concerned about her issue getting to the Lord. Okay? And that's how we need to do, not be afraid. Okay, third point. Hannah's faith was so strong that when Eli said her prayer would be granted, she did not wait until the baby came to stop being sad. She did not wait until the baby came to start eating again, right? As soon as she said that, she was immediately not sad. She immediately went to eat because she knew this is going to happen. I have the faith you granted to me. This is going to happen. I have, my prayer has been fulfilled. Don't you get cancer? Okay. Yeah. So we need to have that kind of strong faith. When we are promised something, we have to believe it's going to happen. And the funny thing is, right, it says in time. It did not say she immediately conceived a child. It said in time she conceived a child, right? And so you may think, oh, he said it's going to happen? Cool, I'm going to go home. It's going to happen right now. No, he said it's going to happen. He's not saying it's going to happen right now, okay? So you have to be patient, and you have to continue to have faith and have hope and believe in the promise, okay? Then you can't rely on anybody else's faith, right? You have to have your own relationship with the Lord, okay? She didn't rely on her husband's faith. She didn't rely on Eli's faith. She relied on her faith with the relationship. She didn't say, oh, what can I do? Maybe I need to go to Eli and give him the gift so that he can open my womb. Maybe I'm doing something to my husband. Maybe he will open my womb. She knew who to go to, okay? Because she had that relationship. She said, I'm going straight to the Father. I'm not going to all these people who can't fix my issue, right? So, and this is a big point for our own lives, right? When you have your own relationship in the Lord, right? And when you're in a marriage, a friendship, any kind of relationship, right? That other person, much like Elkanah, that other person in the relationship doesn't have the ability to solve the problem all the time, okay? Elkanah could do nothing but comfort Hannah. He tried his best. He said, like, am I not better to you than 10 sons, right? He knew she still wanted a child. He knew he couldn't magically make her have a child. All he could do is comfort her, right? And that's the kind of situation we have in marriages. Sometimes they can't fix it. Maybe your best friend can't fix it. Maybe your mom can't fix it. But you know who can fix it? The Lord, right? So in that relationship, you have to have your own relationship with the Lord. You can go to Him for interventions to issues that affected that relationship. Just because it is a marital issue Doesn't mean your husband has the answers. Doesn't mean your wife has the answers. Doesn't mean they know the issues and they can solve it. Okay? It's a problem affecting your relationship. You know? Okay. Hannah has never experienced that mother child connection. And this is a very strong thing, right? The mother child connection, especially right when the baby is born, it's a strong connection, okay? And she still declares the child as the Lord's without hesitation and without remorse. Okay, so the child was born and she didn't go, oh, it's so cute. Actually, I think I want to keep it. Oh, I realized I love being a mother. I think maybe I'll bring him up there and I'll get him back when he's 10. Or maybe I'll just bring him to the temple when he's 10 years old. Maybe how the first 10 years of his life, then God, you can have it, right? She didn't do that. She had no remorse for her promise, no remorse for her dedication to dedicating the child to the Lord. And the thing is, that mother daughter connection is something you can never imagine until you have a child. You think like, oh, yeah, that's my child. And then when you have the kid, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so connected to this thing. She had no remorse. She willingly, without hesitation, still declared the child as the Lord. And that's something that's really important, right? Because we often promise the Lord things like Hannah, right? So we say, Lord, if you give me this $500,000 job, I'm going to donate $200,000 to charity. And much like Hannah, you've never had $5,000 job. You're now in a whole different tax bracket. You can now do all these kind of things. And then you get in that situation, you go, but now I can get $15,000 apartment a month. Ooh, but if I get that and the food I want to get, and I actually don't have that 200,000 that I promised the Lord I would give to charity or give to, missionaries or His kingdom or something, right? Because we make promises on stuff that we don't know about. We don't know about it until we get it. And then we also have this remorse and we try to renege and we try to say, oh Lord, I know I said that, but can I only give 50 right now? It's still a good amount. And yeah, 50 is a good amount, but that's not what you promised the Lord. That's not what you promised to do. That's not what you thought you'd be capable of doing. You thought, oh, I'm going to have more, so I'm going to give more. And then you don't, right? But we have to be like Hannah. Don't have any remorse for the promise. Don't have any regrets. Even if you do end up giving that 200,000 back to the Lord, don't do it in regret and say, "Oh, I wish I never promised that." Right? Okay, we're almost done here. So first of all, she did not ask the Lord, "Can I have two kids? And I will give one of them back to you, and I will keep one." Right? That's giving up half of everything, 50%. Okay, that's a lot. And back in the Bible times, when a king would promise somebody something and they were really pleased, you know what they would say? I'll give you anything you want, up to half of my kingdom, right? That's like the highest thing you could get, right? She doesn't do that. She willingly gave every part of her blessing back to the Lord. She gave 100%. She gave the entirety of the child's life. She didn't say, let me get it for the first 5 years. Let me get it for the first 8 years. He's going to live 80, so that's only 10% of his life. Here, just let me take 10. She gave everything. She gave the whole blessing. Okay? That's important. She didn't say, oh, yeah, just you give me one and I'll give you one. That's incredible dedication that most of us don't have. Okay? And then the last point is, right? Her husband, Elkanah, must have trusted her relationship with the Lord so much that he said, do what you think is best in terms of her sacrificing and dedicating the child to the Lord and bringing it while after it's weaned, not going for the first year of the celebration, right? And you think back biblically, the husband is the decision maker, okay? Like, think about John the Baptist. When he was born, Elizabeth wanted to name him John, and they were like, let's look to your husband and get the real answer, right? That's how it was back in the Bible times, right? the husband was the decision maker. So to relinquish any sort of control over something that's not just a decision on a job, that's your child, okay? And he said, do what you think is best. Because he knows she's in prayer. She has a relationship with the Lord, okay? He understands her faith. And that brings me to a point of getting in a relationship with someone who is equally yoked, okay? Because somebody who is equally yoked to you, okay, if you don't know what that means, this might not be a great explanation, but two like oxen, they put this thing on their head and they're connecting them together, right? So they can harness the power of both. But it doesn't, it's like a kayak. It only moves forward if both sides are equally rowing at the same time, right? If one person's rowing faster, it turns to that side. And the same thing is what happens with the yoke of an oxen, okay? So basically, when you're equally yoked in a relationship, they will not only understand but have respect for your relationship with the Lord, okay? When you are not equally yoked, I can't say this for every situation, okay? But there tends to be a lack of understanding and respect for the person who is more spiritually mature, their relationship with the Lord, okay? Because they say, we're both Christians, right? But if your spiritual maturity level is here, and if your spiritual maturity level is here, and their spiritual maturity level is here, they're bound to get jealous. They're bound to not understand all the crazy things that you're doing up here because they haven't gotten to that point in their relationship, okay? They think, oh, I go to church, I read my Bible like once a week. That's chill. We both have Christian values, everything's going great, but they don't understand. You're in your prayer closet every single night, every single morning. You're praying over the food, you're praying over the kids, you're praying over the school bus, and they think they're doing too much. They're doing all this kind of stuff. I don't have a level of trust for their relationship with the Lord, okay? But when you're equally yoked, you understand other people's relationship with the Lord. You understand that you may not understand exactly what they're doing in their relationship, but you understand their relationship is moving towards the Lord in a unique and special way, just as mine is. And just as they don't get the point, but you have respect for it, okay? You understand it. And that's a really important thing that her husband, who is biblically the decision maker, who can just trump her decisions and say, no, we're not doing that. He's like, I trust your relationship with the Lord. Like, you prayed for this blessing, He gave it to you. If that's what you're supposed to do, go for it, girl. And that's something that's important. So those are all the points I have for you. On 1 Samuel chapter 1, I think Samuel is, 1 Samuel is genuinely one of my favorite books in the Bible, so it's really good to talk about this. And I might do an episode video on 1 Samuel chapter 2, maybe a little bit later on. Let me know in the comments if you see it, or just any chapter, any Bible, I can read it and give you my thoughts. Yeah, I just wanted to get on here and share that with you all. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. And let me pray over you guys, right? Dear Lord God, I pray over everyone who's watching this video, everyone who thought about watching this video, okay? God, first of all, show them today that they are loved. Show them through other people, show them through things, show them through situations that you love them, God. Just reaffirm your love for them, okay? God, we don't know what kind of situations people are going through, all right? But God, their situation might not be healed or resolved right in this moment, God, but let them know that you are there. Lord, you go ahead of us, God. You are watching over us. You are on the side of us. You are covering us throughout our journey of life all the time, and we often forget that, God. So I just pray for them, their well-being. Maybe this video sparks a curiosity that they go read this chapter or read some other part of the Bible that it can help them get closer, and they share this with, whoever, and that it can spark their joy for you, Lord. That's what I want to do, that this video is doing you well. So we just pray for their well-being, everybody who's watching this, to just Look to you. God, we pray for them. They might be backslidden. They might be lost. They might have walked away. God, let them walk, just turn around and start walking back to you. Let them just look at you, God. Because we know that when we take one step towards you, you start running towards us, God. And don't let them forget that. Lord, we just pray safety and healing and everything over everybody watching this in Jesus' name. Okay. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next one.